Anyway, this guy's the CEO of one of the biggest companies on the planet, a company that reaped millions in stimulus bucks while getting the president's ear on how to spend those stimulus bucks. Now, the president just naming GE CEO Jeff Immelt to head up his new White House Council on Jobs and Competitiveness. Now, GE stock soaring 7% on the day it had BOFO earnings. It's a separate story. Nevertheless, former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee says this whole thing is raising some eyebrows. Now, he's, of course, been number one in his time slot for about a year. But anyway, how you doing, Governor?
Well, I'll never catch up to you, but I'm trying. My gosh, I'm trying.
But you don't like the way this whole thing is with the smell test.
Well,
Explain.
it doesn't smell good, but then remember, Washington is a meat rendering factory. Nothing down there smells that good, and the fact that you have sort of a chummy relationship with the CEO of a company that's had some government money tossed its way. But this is what happens.
But what company wouldn't have? You know, I thought of all the brokerage types. Well, Jamie Dimon comes to mind at, Chase. And I'm thinking, well, you got the bailout issue. You've got, everyone has a little bit of possible taint.
That's the deal. There's no way to make it so clean that it's going to be as pure as the driven snow. So it's not going to be. But I think the good news, and there is some here, is that Obama seems to be actually listening to some folks who have run a business. That's a plus. That's something he hadn't been doing. He's been listening to academicians and people who have never run anything. And so if it's Jeff Immelt, that's great. If it's some other people that he brings in and has some conversations with who explain to him that if you keep busting businesses with regulations, taxes, in other words, if you just increase the cost of doing business, the capital they spend to do that is capital they can't reinvest in employees, equipment, inventory, or research and development, and it's a job killer. It's really pretty simple. You don't have to have an MBA to understand that.
But the president is also the good lawyer that he is, very carefully chosen his words of late. I just want you to listen to this, Governor, about the approach to jobs of late.
A new trade deal with South Korea that will support more than 70,000 American jobs. These deals will support some 235,000 American jobs.
Supports about 500,000 American jobs.
To help create new opportunities for American companies and support new jobs here at home.
These exports support hundreds of thousands of jobs across the nation in all sectors.
Billions of jobs. Yeah, that's the ticket.
I love it.
Being funny, but, it's kind of gotten magnified.
It's the echo. One of the things that I always love about an administration or a political party is they get their talking points. They're virtually imprinted on the brains of the people who are supposed to go to the microphones, and then you hear the same words over and over.
I got to say, like,
jobs, and support. Now we're supporting jobs. We were saving jobs. We quit saving jobs after we weren't saving them, and we quit saving them after we weren't making them. So now we're just supporting them. So what's next? We're watching.
Well, you said something very interesting, as you always do, Governor. Even though you're 8 years behind me on the number one thing, but one of the things that I've noticed is, if you say it often enough, people then, well, there must be something to it, because now, like you say, he's got Jeff Immelt's having on the jobs front. He's talking about cutting down the regulations. He must mean it. So the next stage for you to see is what?
Well, does he actually then put this into policy? It's one thing to say it at the podium. That's great. But will his policies reflect it? How far will he let the Republicans push him on revisions, if not repudiation, of Obamacare? Will he now give some indication that the tax cuts are going to be really permanent and that he's going to ensure that we're not going to go through a bunch of new draconian measures such as cap and trade, other issues that could right now bring a devastating blow to the U.S. economy?
We have polls out. We have a lot of polls here, Governor. And look what I came across. This is amazing. The 2012 GOP nomination, I know that guy. I know that guy on top. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Well, that looks good, but then you look at that and you say, what's wrong with the other 76% of the people who aren't?
You're like me. Is it Catholic guilt? Are you? What's going on? So what would it take? I mean, you mentioned don't underestimate the strength and the wind at the back of this president. And you're right on the charisma front. He's doing all the right things front and all. But he would be tough to beat, whether it's you or anyone else, right?
That's exactly right. Very tough. He'll start with $1 billion in his campaign account. No one's going to have anywhere that much money, Republican or a challenger, and he won't have one.
He'll have the $1 billion?
Yeah, he'll get that.
Really?
He's a sitting president. He had $800 million as an unknown senator from Illinois.
Yeah, but that was when he was a phenomenon. People were sending in 10, 15, 20 bucks.
No, they were actually sending in big bucks. This whole myth about how he got little bitty contributions from all the little people, he was getting the same old corporate dollars and the big boy dollars that everyone else has always gotten.
And so by wooing these guys back, he's going to get them back.
Well, he'll get them back anyway. Don't ever kid yourself. A person sitting in the office, the incumbent, is going to get the big money because it's a matter of defense. Now, Jeff Immelt, for example, gave to McCain and he gave to Hillary. I'll promise you he'll be giving to Obama, and a lot of the people like him will. So it's a matter of just good business. You don't want to bite the hand that can cut your hand off. So that's what will happen.
So you're waiting until 2016, are you saying?
Or 2044, I don't know. We'll just let this thing play out. It's too early. Everybody's all worried about. Look,
you must take some delight in a poll like that.
I love those polls when I'm on top. I've been on top. I've been on bottom. Being on top is a heck of a lot more fun.
I mean, that's not only on top. That's like a lot on top.
Well, but it's still at a point where if this keeps looking this way for the next 8 months, then we'll talk.
Oh, really? Because I've been the ratings game, Governor, and it is a lot better to be doing well than not.
I understand that.
Did I tell you I'm 9 years running? How long has your show been?
It's not long enough. And you're still the king.
There we go.
The king of your world, and I believe it with all my heart.
Governor, a lot of things you've seen Governor pass on the rescues and all this other stuff, and now the president, it bears listening. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Be very, very well.